Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your July 2016 general readings. I am using the Gilded Tarot deck, drawing 8 cards for the month, 2 cards for each week, with an additional ninth card as your crowning card, overall theme and energy for the reading. These are general readings, so they may not apply or resonate the same with everyone who watches them. Of course, they won't. How could they? There's so many of you watching, and all of you are coming from each of your own different backgrounds and stories. So make sure to check your rising and your moon sign as well. You may find that those may resonate with you, particularly for different areas of your life. Thank you so very much for those of you who continue to watch and listen and subscribe to my channel. It is continuing to grow. The family is growing day by day. Thank you so much for your feedback and support and love. And as I always say, please keep those comments coming. I love the ones you post both on my YouTube videos and the ones that some of you send via email, especially describing how the readings resonate for you so predictively. So please keep those coming. And a special thank you, as always, to those of you who continue to reach out for personal one-on-one readings. It is always an honor and always a pleasure to read for you. Thank you very much for the trust that you put in me to interpret and intuit the cards for you. And if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading, you can click on the About button on my channel's homepage, and that will give you a little more information in detail on myself and the services I offer. And you can always email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. That email address is also on my channel. So for those of you who are interested, send me an email. I would be delighted to work with you. I do readings full time, so I'm pretty good at scheduling with you and getting your readings almost always within a week. My current turnaround time is anywhere from 1 to 4 or 5 days typically. So let's get right into this. This is for Gemini for July 2016. The lovely air sign of Gemini, Gemini the twins. What does this beautiful warm month of July hold for you? Well, I'm in California, so it's lovely and warm here. Gemini, Gemini, July 2016. Okay, we begin with the Six of Swords, followed by the Hermit, the High Priestess, followed by the Two of Swords, the Nine of Swords in reverse, followed by the Five of Swords, the Four of Swords, followed by the Two of Wands, and from the bottom of the deck, your crowning card, overall energy and feeling, is the Ten of Wands. Lots of sword cards, Gemini. Let's just take a quick look. It looks like mostly just at first glance, Gemini, it looks like most of you, for a lot of you, this is actually going to be a fairly internal, reflective month and kind of deciding on where you're going to go from here on out. No court cards, some major arcana. We have 1, 2 major arcana here, and both of them very internal and reflective cards. So let's begin. We start the month with the Six of Swords, followed by the Hermit. So, and also looking at your crowning card too, your crowning card, let's actually just start with that. Your crowning card is the Ten of Wands. So Wands is governed by fire and air, very dynamic combination. And the suit of Wands is a very dynamic suit. It's very action oriented. It's about that primal manifesting energy that drives us to create and manifest our thoughts and dreams and ideas. So the Ten of Wands represents being at the end of something, tens in numerology representing the end of a cycle, the culmination, the coming full circle of something. And it looks like the end of June, beginning of July, Gemini, you are just about at the tail end of something, or you're actually transitioning from something. Something is coming to an end, a close. And for a lot of you, I feel like this has been either a struggle, a burden that you've been carrying, or the end of a long culmination, the culmination of a long investment of effort into something. For some of you, this may represent the end of a course of learning, Some of you, I mean, we're just ending up June here, so some of you may have graduated and you've put in a lot of long, hard work. You can see from the front of this card this man is carrying these 10 wands and he's doing it successfully. He hasn't dropped any of them, or if he has, he's been able to pick them up and soldier on. But you can see how much of a burden, how much of a weight he's been carrying. These wands are so heavy that he can't even stand up straight. He's completely bowed over by the weight of these. So, again, for some of you, this is going to represent a difficult issue that you've been struggling with. For some of you, it could represent a difficult relationship you've been struggling with, or a goal that you've reached that's taken a tremendous amount of effort and strength to keep going, and you've done it quite successfully. And the Ten of Wands represents your being at the end of it. The end is in sight. You can see his head is up, and I always feel like his journey's end, his destination is just right outside of our line of vision here. So again, it's about something coming to an end, a cycle ending, a burden being able to be put down. Finally, you're just at the very tail end of it. Now that 10 of Wands is paired with the Hermit card, Major Arcana card, fingers of the divine, as I like to call them, because they do represent that divine energy coming in to lead and guide us and give us advice. The Hermit card can resonate a few different ways, and it's going to, of course, depending on who's watching it. The Hermit can represent a going within, and I think for a lot of you, because it's followed by the High Priestess as well, it's an internal month. It's about reflecting on this journey that you've been on, whatever it is, this thing you've been working for, or this difficulty that you've been struggling with, this weight, this cross that you've been bearing. The Hermit card is about going within. It's also about using the culmination of your life's experience to help guide you across a path or know which direction to go in next. You can see this aged man is slowly, carefully picking his way across this narrow precipice, and he's using the light of this lantern to guide his way. This lantern being symbolic for wisdom, the wisdom that he has gleaned over the many years of life that he has walked. So for some of you, it is about reflecting about the path that you've walked, this burden that you are just about ready to lay down, this goal that you've finished, um, and going within and figuring out where you're going to be going from here. Because I feel like a lot of you, this is a decision-making month too. Uh, not not feeling pressured to make a decision, but as one thing comes to a close, of course, that means something else is beginning, and it's about what direction to go in. And the wisdom of the hermit, the energy of the hermit card will help and aid you in that. It can also represent sometimes feeling as if you're alone on this path, but the hermit card sometimes gets a bad rap that way. In order to figure out where we want to go next in life, it is often necessary to go within, and maybe for some of you, the end of June, beginning of July, maybe the first week or so of July, it's about kind of reflecting on where you've been and drawing on your own wisdom, your own intuition, your own gut instinct to figure out what direction you want to go in next. And of course, nobody can really be with us in those quiet moments, because regardless of what advice and feedback you may receive or seek out, Gemini, during July 2016, it looks very strongly like the energies of the divine are advising you to go within and congratulate yourself as well for how far you've come and how successfully you've been carrying either this burden or this completion of work or study that you've come to. Now, following that, around the second week or so of July, we have another major arcana card, beautiful card, the High Priestess, paired with the Two of Swords, decision-making card. Let's see, we actually have 1, 2, 3, 4 swords cards and 2 wands. So again, very reflective, because swords is that air mental energy. So the High Priestess is a card, another card that speaks of, just like the energy of the Hermit, very internal cards. It speaks of going within and touching base not only with your source of divinity, whatever your connection to God, Spirit, Divine is, but also to go deep within and check with your own intuition. Touch your own gut instinct, your own intuition, as far as where you're going to go to next as you're wrapping up this portion of your life, this chapter that's coming to a close. The High Priestess is very spiritual, very intuitive individual, she or energies. She does not doubt the path that she's on or question the steps that she takes because she allows her intuition to lead her, her gut instinct to lead her. It's a little bit more of a, I always feel like it's more of a, has more of a, an intangible spiritual energy. The hermit is going within and he's using actually the culmination of his life experience, his actual tangible experiences to glean the wisdom to know which direction to go in and how to find his way from one place to another. And the high priestess goes within as well, but taps in that source of her connection to the divine and her connection to that spiritual side of herself to know intuitively what to do about something or what choice to make and choice about what. I believe it's the future where you're going from here on out, Gemini. That high priestess is paired with the two of swords. So swords is governed by the element of air, and it's all about that airy world of our words and ideas, our thoughts. The suit of swords represents our mental outlooks and perspectives, how we look at things, our belief systems. And the two of swords is a decision making card. It represents being at a crossroads where you feel you need to make a decision and sometimes feeling stuck in that decision. It can also represent, because of the blindfold on her eyes, again, feeling like you don't know which way to go, which choice to make, or having something in front of you that needs to be dealt with, a choice that needs to be made, something that needs to be resolved, but being unable or unwilling, at least up until now, to deal with it and to make a choice as to how to move forward, Gemini. And the fact that it showed up in your reading means that now is the time to do that. I don't feel a sense of urgency or pressure to do it, but it looks like July 2016 is a time for a lot of you as something is coming to a close. Something important, I think, is coming to a close. A burden is ready to be laid down, laid to rest. And it's about making a decision on where to go from here on out. And I feel like some of you are feeling kind of stuck in that energy. But again, it's such a powerful combination of cards. Well, actually, the Hermit and the High Priestess are not exactly paired with each other, but they do. The High Priestess is following the Hermit, and they're both major arcana cards, and they're both very strong, loud pieces of advice to go within, Gemini, to seek out the answers. And for some of you as well, too, this Hermit and the High Priestess both could represent someone in your life, someone that you look up to as a mentor, as a guide, somebody who it could be a counselor, a trusted friend, any kind of advisor, somebody whose feedback and advice, intuition that you trust as well to seek out help and answers from in terms of where you're going to go, what direction you're going to go from here on out. Now, next to that, we have the Nine of Swords in reverse, followed by the Five of Swords. Mental energy, so much mental energy, Gemini. Now, the Nine of Swords in reverse, I actually like to see this card in reverse. In the upright position, again, that suit of swords, that mental cerebral suit. In the upright position, it's about an extraordinary amount of stress, anxiety, strain, worry, etc. So much that it's keeping this woman up late at night. In the reverse position, it means that you are overcoming this. And I feel that whatever the energy of this 10 of wands represents for you, whether it's, again, maybe you've graduated in the month of June and you're trying to make decisions on where to go from here on out. For some of you, a difficult relationship is coming to an end, and it's all about healing. For some of you, it is going to be about I feel like excuse me. I actually feel like some of you have been through that 10 of wands energy because it's your crowning card. That 10 of wands energy represents, for some of you, it's going to have been a very difficult thing that you've been struggling with. And I think for a small portion of you, although I'm not picking up on a lot of that, but I think for a small portion of you, it's going to be a relationship that's coming to an end. And moving forward now, it's about going within, internalizing this month, kind of looking back over the history of it as you're moving into a more healing place. The this Nine of Swords in reverse is overcoming what I think was previously quite a battle. And some of you may feel like it was a battle you won or a battle you lost, but the overall question is whether it was worth it. And for some of you, I think the answer is going to be yes. And for some of you, the answer is going to be no. Again, because there's so many of you watching. That Nine of Swords in reverse is paired with the Five of Swords. Now, the Five of Swords is technically a card about victory or overcoming something, but not in a very large sense. It talks about a battle having cost quite a bit, and it begs the question, is it worth it? Has something been worth it? And I think for some of you, I think for a lot of you, as this Ten of Wands energy is drawing to a close, some of you are going to be moving forward into the future, and everything that you've invested into it, all the energy or all the struggle, all the conflict has been worth it because you've been able to take something with you and move on. For some of you, it's not. You can see this man has just come from a battle. His enemies or opponents are defeated. They're obviously defeated on the ground behind him. He's gathered up all of their weapons and he's holding his own sword aloft in victory. But if you look closely at this card, you can see that this battle has cost quite a bit. He's depleted, worn out, exhausted. He doesn't look particularly victorious. He's bleeding from a little cut on his forehead. This battle has cost him, or whatever this struggle has been, has cost him. And again, for some of you, especially those who for whom this Ten of Wands crowning energy represents graduation or the end of the completion of a goal that took a tremendous amount of effort and strength and work on your part, it will have been worth it because you have something to show for it at the end. I mean, we always have something to show for it at the end, even when it's a relationship coming to a close or something negative, if nothing else, the life lessons that we carry with us. But I think somewhere around the third week or so of July, you're probably a lot of you are going to hit this spot where you feel like the stress, the strain that you've been carrying associated with this Ten of Wands energy is dissipating. It's overcoming that. And again, very reflective kind of mood. Was it worth it? Yes. Was it worth it? No. What have I learned from it? And where do I go from here? And some of that may feel for some of you, again, a little stuck in this Two of Swords crossroad energy about not knowing what direction to go in, or for some of you, I think you're just at the place where you just want to rest for a while. You just want to, in fact, the advice at the end of the month is to take some time out to kind of rest and not want to have to make any decisions for a while because it's a month about, again, reflection, peace, healing, and quiet. We also have the Six of Swords that was right after the Ten of Wands too. This is a card of healing. It's a card of moving away from something, moving from troubled, turbulent, chaotic waters into smooth, peaceful, more serene waters. Strong theme, strong energy of peace, restoration, and healing for this. And I mean, it was the first card that came out after this Ten of Wands. Again, however this resonates for you, Gemini, and it's going to resonate differently, of course, and you'll have to let me know. Again, whether it's a successful completion of a goal or something difficult, conflictive that's come to an end. It's about moving through into peace and healing and getting some rest because I feel like whatever this has been, Gemini, has cost you quite a bit. It's taken a lot out of you. And the Six of Swords is a transitional energy, and I feel like this month is a transitional month, not in a chaotic sort of way, but just in like you just finish something, you're taking a deep breath, and it's just about resting. I think some of you don't want to make any decisions this month. You're done with something, something's coming to a close, and you're just tired. It's all about this energy about moving forward, letting go of the chaos, overcoming that stress, anxiety, and worry. For some of you, this could represent the arena of job and career, financial distress, perhaps, although there's no Pentacles cards here and I'm not picking up much of that, but of course it always could be applied to that area of your life as well. Now, at or towards the end of July 2016, we have the Four of Swords, rest and respite, and the Two of Wands. So again, we have these two number two cards, both which represent being at a crossroads of sorts. We have this Two of Swords here. And again, I feel like some of you more in the beginning of July 2016, Gemini, it's like whatever you've been through, you don't want to have to make any decisions right now. You want to put it off for a while. You want to just focus on rest and peace and healing. And at the end of the month, that's the energy you're ending the month with. It's again, rest, respite, healing, going within as well. You can see this man is girded for battle. And whether he's just finished a battle or whether he's taking a break from a battle, for the time being, he's disengaged from it. He's disengaged from conflict. And again, for some of you for whom are still kind of wrapping up the end of stuff, this is a very strong piece of advice that it's time to draw this to a close, withdraw from whatever conflict there is. You can see these three swords are pointing down at him, and his own is lying close by his hand should he need it. But for the time being, he's not engaged. This is about disengaging from conflict, calling it good, taking care of yourself, rest and respite. I get the feeling that a lot of you are just exhausted. Whatever it is you've been through, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, or a combination of all three, you're just exhausted, and you really need to take some time this month, Gemini, to um, to take care of yourself. Especially, I mean, this falls right after the Five of Swords. Whatever it is, this battle, this it's the energy just keeps repeating itself all through this reading, coming to a close. Such a struggle, such a challenge. You need to rest. You need to take care of yourself. Peace, restoration, and healing, another strong theme this month. But again, the Four of Swords also has that energy of going within, just like the High Priestess and the Hermit card, of going within, taking a rest, taking a step back, carving out a niche of time. Get away for a while if you can, Gemini. Go on a little vacation or carve out a little bit of time, some niches, to kind of go within, rest and recuperate, heal, and figure out where you're going to go next. And I think at the end of July 2016, you're more prepared to make decisions about where to move forward. And it feels like you feel a sense of obligation or pressure earlier in the month to decide what you're going to do, but it doesn't look like you're really ready for that until the end of the month. That Four of Swords is paired with the Two of Wands. And I think at the end of July 2016, probably going into August a little bit, it's about, okay, where do I go now? You can see that this man is, again, another card about being at a crossroads and needing to make a decision about what path he takes. And the key is to choose the path that provides the most opportunity and potential for expansion and growth, because this is a card of expansion and growth, of looking forward and starting to think about your future. What direction do you want to go in next? So Gemini, I just kind of feel like this overwhelming sense of kind of tiredness but relief at the same time. It's a good reading. Again, it feels like it's just it's over, or it's just about at the end. And I'm getting that some of you, I'm looking at this High Priestess and Two of Swords energy. I think some of you earlier in the month may feel some pressure from outside sources, some people saying, okay, well, you need to make a decision about this. You need to figure out what direction you want to go in here. Paired with that High Priestess, it's about trusting your own instinct and your own intuition. And the cards are strongly suggesting that you take at least the majority of this month to be good to yourself, to kind of maybe even withdraw a little bit from people, rest, relax, recuperate, do whatever it is that makes you feel good and feel recharged. And it looks like the end of July is going to be a better time for you to make decisions, for those of you for whom this resonates, in what direction you need to move forward in. And really, it's about going within and trusting your own instinct, your own intuition, your own desires, and your own heart to lead you in the right direction. So Gemini, that pretty much sums up July for you. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. I hope it's brought you some wisdom and insight and clarity. Take a deep breath and kick back this month, and try not to make any major decisions if you can help it until the very end, when you've gotten a little more healing and a little more peace under your belt. And if any of you are interested in a more personal reading, which of course would be more specific to you and your situation, please don't hesitate to email me at Maggie, the number one, McGuire at gmail.com. That address is also on my YouTube channel if you hit click the About button. And until I see you all again in a couple of weeks for the July mid-month readings, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Thanks, Gemini, and I'll see you soon. Bye.